question about homework. Yes.
I have a question for the pursuit drop calculation. I don't know if the problem is my input skills. They mentioned that Sylvester do the calculation of pursuit drop only considering the slope value. The problem statement say, okay, use the Sylvester calculation, but they suggest the partner that use the whole equation. So my question is, if we use the whole equation, we are considering that we have a film, so which part is going to be the SI, SF, in this vertical case.
Okay. The question I got is about in the homework. After we do everything, how do we calculate pressure drop? We need that minus dPdL over minus dPdL. That's what we need. Okay. We have slack unit pressure drop, slack unit length. So for slack unit pressure drop, you can use that equation. Which term that you cannot calculate?
Okay, if we're considered the vertical
Vertical flow. Okay, which term that you cannot calculate?
The tau g.
Tau g.
Should be.
Where is tau g? I have tau s. Tau g. Okay.
Sg is the one.
Sg.
The definition of that we should not include because if we are going to consider
Tau g sg. Okay. So how much is tau f?
I don't know
How much is sf? What is sf?
PD
Pi times inner diameter. Pi d. That is sf. What about sg?
should be 0 in our case.
Do we have I? Tau I. Let's compare. For horizontal flow case. Horizontal flow case. We have that. Rho s, tau f, tau g. Okay. So in that case, tau f is sf is what?
The liquid length that the perimeter that is covered by the liquid, that is S.
Weighted ball fraction, the perimeter that touch with the liquid phase. Okay. What about tau g? Pipe that touch with gas.
Yes.
Okay. For that case, what is the pipe that touch with gas? Pipe that doesn't touch with gas. So you don't have that term.
Yeah, that is for liquid, but in our case right now the hopper is the vertical.
Vertical flow.
So we have a film.
Sg is 0 because no part of gas is in contact with gas.
Okay.
Don't you agree?
Yeah, I agree with that.
What's wrong with that?
But it's because
Is this going to be wrong? So it's similar to annular flow in the film zone, right? In the film zone, the pressure drop is similar to annular flow, except there's no like entrainment fraction. What do you do for annular flow?
calculate the film.
Annular flow, I have this. Okay, minus dPdr sub F, frictional pressure loss equal to rho g sine theta. I have rho g sine theta. Okay, let's say everything divided by, let's do just the film part, not the slab part. So everything divided by, so you don't consider the slab part. Okay, just the film zone. Everything divided by LF. So rho g sine theta, I have rho g sine theta over there. But I have to move to this side, so it's the same thing, right? Rho g sine theta. What else? So this is based on the liquid part. Frictional pressure loss in the liquid part. Frictional pressure loss in the liquid part, I have tau L SLAF. Tau L SLAF. Do I have that over there? Tau L FL SLAF. I have a pipe, right? But that's for horizontal flow. For this one is vertical flow.
It's because that equation, the J155, I mentioned that people use for slide increment too.
Okay.
So, and the Sylvester one is just simplified, just vertical. So when they suggest this one, my conclusion was okay. If we are going to use this.
So in the film zone, it looks like it is like a annular case. Okay. I have 3 terms over there. If you do like stratified flow with just those two, interfacial term tau L. Okay. That is the governing equation for the film part. For the core, you don't have like entrainment fraction. So it's similar to this equation. Any of this is okay. If you ever combine it, like this add that divided by 2 or something. So when you add them together, what do you get? That term tau I, that term tau I, you can cancel it or something.
It's because if we get the liquid pull up in the bowl sum, we can calculate the film thick, the Sylvester theory.
For the Sylvester case,
We can
vertical
calculate
flow,
the
we don't have the part of the pipe that is in contact with gas anymore, right? So we have to go back to the force balance or momentum balance. If you multiply AP on left side or everywhere, you have AP delta P, okay, total pressure drop, or total force, total net force due to pressure is because of gravitational part in the slab body zone, gravitational part in the film zone. Okay. You see rho F. What is that rho F? Rho F is not the same as rho L that you have over there. When you use rho L, that is liquid density. When you use rho F, that is the net density in the film zone. Weighted average based on HOAP, right?
Okay.
That is weighted average based on HOAP in the film zone. Okay. Then you have shear stress due to liquid slug. Okay, that stays the same. Due to the film part. In the film part, there's no
it's
no
just
gas
consider that.
touching that, so that is 0.
Just comes
You just have that term. But that tau F, okay, SF is a like pi d, right?
yes.
If you look at that one is similar to this, okay? But the difference is when we do this kind of thing, that row is row L, it's not row F. And this is just a momentum balance in the film zone. Use any of that, should get same result, unless it's wrong. Okay. You can use this, you can say, okay, that term becomes 0. Because if you look at the whole thing, the film part, you didn't do this thing and that thing in separate. You do it together, right?
Yes.
You can do it separately, like this. I would think it will be more like suitable if you use this kind of equation, because it becomes annular flow with entrainment fraction equal to 0. I think you use this one. What do you think?
I prefer.
This will be correct for sure. That
The
could be dependent on your interpretation. This is subject to your interpretation and is derived based on some part of gas touch the wall. But this one is derived based on no gas touch the wall. And when you have that case, so this is more appropriate. But you see that tau WL and that tau is going to be the same. Right? That too is going to be the same.
Yeah, the thing is that with the second one, we need the interfacial friction.
This one doesn't have
It doesn't.
I. That one has I, but whenever it has I, it's AF. Okay. Do you need tau I?
The other case, no.
Okay. Let's think about horizontal case versus stratified flow. Horizontal stratified flow. Okay. When we do horizontal stratified flow, we have whatever it is, we have tau I, right? Minus AL dPdL, so we have tau I, and we have AL, not AP. Okay, that is stratified flow. This is also stratified flow, but if you don't take the part that is about the slack, last 3 terms is about stratified flow too. But it doesn't have I. Okay. So this part we do the force balance as a whole. This part we do the force balance top one and bottom one separately. Okay. If you change from AL to AP, net force that act on both top and bottom surface. So that will be you don't have interface term, right? But you will have gas term added to that. Or, look, if you add that equation and that equation together, know that dPdL and that dPdL, they are the same, right? So AP and AG add together become A pipe. AG and AP add together become A pipe, right? Tau I and tau I that cancel each other. So you add that two together, tau LSL, tau GSG, and that term added together. So you rho L AL plus rho G AG divided by AP isn't it equal to that thing? So you add these two together, you get that, right? Do you? Should you? Yes, it is. Isn't it? So what about annular flow case? If you add these two equations together, everything on the top multiplied by AF, everything on the bottom multiplied by AC. You add them together, the top term become A what? AP, right? AF plus AC become AP, isn't it? And top one you have tau ISI. The bottom one you have minus tau ISI. Add them together, those two terms do what? Cancel each other. Okay. And the top one will be rho L AF. The bottom one is rho C AC. So it's a weighted average based on whole up, right? Okay. So it's become that term. What if you add those two together? Tau WL SL plus, okay, the bottom one, where's the tau G? There's no tau G. Is it any tau G? No tau G. Because gas doesn't touch the wall, there's no tau WG. So you add them together, you're left with tau WLSL. So you have tau WLSL, which is the film part. And you don't have tau G because it's 0. So it's the same. Add these two equations together, you get that. For the case of vertical flow, that term vanished. What's the big deal? It's good? Do I use that? No. I use this too because it's the same thing, but it's easier to understand. But it's identical, exactly the same. More question? Are you about to be done with that homework? Just no, Victor.
Yeah.
Just that and it's done. Try both methods. They are exactly the same. Okay. Analytically, they are exactly the same. Do I use that? A little bit confused because that term has to be 0, right? It's the same as this. Yeah? How much is your progress on this homework?
I have to do the part 7.
How long does it take for you to do it, Victor?
Around 3 hours.
3 hours. Okay. I should not give you guys like 2 weeks, right? If it can be done in 3 hours. Is it difficult? No? But it give a lot of time. So if you submit it late, I just give you 0. Or if you don't do it, try to do it. I don't think it's 3 hours. It could be more. Okay. All right. Any other question? No question? Let's finish the annular flow. Today we are going to cover the annular flow and try to finish the vertical flow part. We talked many things about annular flow already, just a little bit left. Okay. Oh, before we start, I have a question. Who don't come next Tuesday? Just you? You don't come either? Who else? Victor, are you going to come next Tuesday?
Maybe not. What happened next Tuesday?
Are you going to come next Tuesday?
No. Thanksgiving? No, I'm not here.
Next Tuesday. Next Tuesday is not Thanksgiving.
It's Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, University Thanksgiving is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. What about you? What? You'll be there. Very good. You'll be here, right? You will come, right?
I mean, I don't.
If all of you don't come on next Tuesday, I will turn on the camera and come give the lecture and have you guys watch the video, and then we have the quiz on that day and give all of you 0. Because that day is the university work day, university business day. Next Monday, next Tuesday is university business day. I am not allowed to do like what you did or what you're about to do. Just like, no, I cannot.
Smoking, please.
Okay,
We want the video, that's fine.
very likely. You can change your mind to come. It's okay to not come, but you get whatever penalty that I promised in your syllabus. Okay, for another flow,
How about quiz?
quiz is not replaceable, no makeup quiz. If you don't come, take a quiz, you just get 0. I wait first 5 minutes, record the video to show the evidence that I actually wait for you guys. No one come, just give 0. Okay, and you all do the report. Watch the video, do the report. Maybe I give like secret number. Hey, if you watch this video, write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in your report or something, that means you actually watch it. We can do that, right? Not that difficult. Alright, look, if you just skim through it, you never find that number. Okay, look at the annular flow. We go through all derivation, moment of balance, everything. Okay, and we talk about closure relationship Fi as a function of delta. There are various closure relationships. Each of them is suitable for different cases. Okay, entrainment fraction. We talk about closure relationship for entrainment fraction. So basically, we have 2 closure relationships. The first one is capital I. Capital I is like stratified flow. For stratified flow, we need to know interfacial friction factor, right? This time, we know the relationship between interfacial friction factor and the F sub AC. So the next one is entrainment fraction. We go through the momentum balance, all related equation, geometric relationship, everything, right? We go through all this. And basically, the combined momentum equation is only a function of delta. We can solve it numerically. Another approach is de-dimensionalize it. Make everything to be dimensionless. De-scale it. So we scale tau with superficial frictional pressure loss. Okay? We scale tau with superficial frictional pressure loss. We do the math. Everything eventually. So tau I is scaled with superficial frictional pressure loss based on BSC, superficial core velocity. Okay. For tau S, tau WL, we scale it based on superficial velocity of liquid phase. Just that. Once you do the scaling, and just a little knowledge of delta tilde is delta over diameter. So we scale the film thickness with the diameter. Okay. Eventually, we get dimensionless equation. Okay. Is this equation dimensionless yet? Is it? Let me take a look at this equation before we do any other simplification. Look at this equation. What is the unit of tau? Pascal. Okay. Same as unit of pressure. So it's cancelled, right? L over here, move to the top, become meter squared. Meter squared divided by A, which is meter squared. So it's dimensionless. It is dimensionless form. What about this thing? Move L to the top, we get something like rho GH. Rho GH is Pascal. Pascal is dimensionless. This equation is dimensionless. Okay, but we don't stop here. We want to represent it in the terms of tilde parameter. That instead of AC, we want delta tilde. It is a dimensionless form, and we know that this term control the film thickness or something, but it's not quite like final yet. Okay. So we introduce the dimensionless variable, which is delta. Delta over diameter is delta tilde, like h tilde. Okay. Substitute it there, do the math, do all the math. Eventually, we get this form. Okay. Take a look at the last term. Okay. See this one? Is it the same as this one? The last term in this equation. This term and that term, are they the same? Yes, they are the same because it's already dimensionless. And it's not a function of any geometric relationship. It's not A, it's not S, it's not something like length thing. So we don't have to do anything with that. We just change what? Say, hey, this thing is y sub m. Done. Okay? So then we say, okay, the front one, or I mean this equation, the big one, this equation is okay, xm square something. So eventually you get 4.101. And last time is times up, so we stop there. But okay, once we have that, I tell you what is the definition of each term, right? X sub m modified log-half methodology parameter by m modified theta Doppler inclination angle parameter. Delta tilde is delta over d, governed by 6 dimensionless parameter xm, ym, m, and fei. What is that telling you? Okay, first of all, x sub m, can it be calculated right up front? Kind of, but it's not completely. First step, you need fe, right? Once you get entrainment fraction, okay, go back to the, you see minus dpdl sub sc superficial core velocity. How much is superficial core velocity? We don't know it until we get f sub m, do we? Superficial core velocity VSC, Reynolds number SC is depend on FSC, right? Superficial core velocity is VSC plus VSL multiplied by FE. So if you have FE, you can calculate superficial core velocity. Then you can calculate the minus dpdr sub SC, right? XM. You can also calculate YM, right? In theory, when you do it, it's a little bit long. And guess what? For Thanksgiving, I think you are going to do this. Alright. The same suffering and pain that I have been through. So whatever that I did, you will do it too. Okay? So it depends on M and N. M is for the gas phase, it's always turbulence. N is for liquid phase. It can be laminar, sometimes film is laminar, sometimes film could be turbulent. Okay? So if you know F sub E, then the rest you can calculate it. Okay. But if it is falling film, can that equation be used? For the case of downward flow, falling film, it's similar to this, but you have to change sign a little bit, okay? But the governing equation that you derive already cover for falling film, provided that for the shear stress, you use V multiplied by absolute value of V, not V squared. Then it takes care of the direction automatically, like in the falling film or the slab flow. You got it? Alright. So once you have everything, we can do the chart. Okay. So we can write actual frictional pressure loss in terms of minus dpdr sub SL and thickness like this. Okay? Or we can rearrange it into the dimensionless form like this. So frictional pressure loss, actual frictional pressure loss can be written in terms of dimensionless parameter alone by grouping it like that first. Okay? It's just a map based on this equation. Where does this equation come from? Mass momentum balance for the film zone. Similarly, you have momentum balance in the gas core, right? In the gas core, you can rearrange everything to be a function of delta of film thickness. But the left hand side has to be grouped like that. And we call phi c squared and phi f squared. Okay. Alright. We put a pause on that and we continue on closure relationship a little bit. Our best model needs F sub E closure relationship. That is a formula. Phi is dependent on fluid property, viscosity, velocity. Alright? Everything is SI. Did you check if that is SI? I think you will do the check for me when you actually do the homework. Alright. Estimate whether film is laminar or turbulent. How do we know that? We can use this formula. Right? Where does that formula come from? Rho V d over mu. But instead of V, we substitute the expression for liquid velocity that we got earlier in here. And that is that formula. Okay? And that is some kind of derivation. Eventually we get this. Core should be turbulent flow. If it's laminar flow, it won't be enough to lift the film up. So that's the closure relationship for this case. What's the limitation? What is the limitation of that closure relationship? It's valid for whatever case that Wallace did it. If Wallace didn't do it for high viscosity oil, it's not for high viscosity oil. If Wallace didn't do it for large pipe diameter, it cannot be used for large pipe diameter. If we do it for circular shape, a little bit distort from circular shape may not be a little bit invalid. See what I'm saying? If they do it for fully developed flow and you try to use for developing flow, it's not be completely valid. See what I'm saying? So if it's not identical to that case, it is a good approximation, but it's not like the perfect answer. And this is a summary of every equation. How do we calculate it? Step 1, calculate x sub m squared. Okay. Of course, you need this first. F sub e. Okay, this is calculation solution procedure. F sub e. After f sub e, get regular number of the film to find out if it is laminar or turbulent. Then you can calculate x sub m. Superficial frictional pressure loss based on VSL and VSC and all other parameters, okay, including rho c, alpha c, blah blah blah, and ym. You can calculate all that. This is any question on this part. Next step is use figure to solve your film thickness. Figure 4.22. Which page number? Can you find it? Open it. Come on. 164. 164. See that? All right. Is the final exam open book? No. No, you can have a formula sheet or cheat sheet. It's not open book. It is not open book as per the syllabus. So that this kind of graph, I have to provide. Okay, I have to provide.
There'll be a lot of questions, so why would you have to prove it?
If you bring a book, you get F. because that is cheating. Okay? How many equations exactly? At most 100 equations or something, right? Because we have equation 100 and something.
That's a lot of equations.
Oh. So what?
So we should write on a sheet.
You may skip it, but if you need it and you don't have it, I don't help you. Okay. Let's take a look at something about final exam that is coming. Final exam is on Friday, December 7th, 7:30 to 10 a.m. Okay. As per school. Okay. It's 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 7 to, it's 2 hours and a half. Okay. 2-page handwriting, cheat sheet, closed book. Don't print it. No, you cannot. The purpose of this is so that I know that you wrote it by yourself. So at least, if I'm about to give you C, I can just give, okay, just get B. So it's your handwriting. It doesn't help anything unless you're about to fail, then it helps. Okay. I'll take a look. Did he ever read a book? Where's his handwriting? Has to be your own handwriting, not somebody else's handwriting. Okay, not printing. Okay.
So we can make it like.
No. Your handwriting. 2-page. You can do front and back. Okay. Or you can do 2 separate. The size is 8.5 by 11 inch, like this. You cannot use like V37. No. It says that. Either front and back or 2 front side, 2 of them. Just that. Okay. No, that is cheating.
The equations can have a lot of.
The fact is, very frequent, I give most equation that you need. Okay?
Well, you're going to give us equation that
But I won't tell what you need. You use or something. Let's say I give you Gomez et al. Equation. And that equation happen to use radian. Or happen to use degree. I may tell it if it's strange, if it's the same as in a book. I don't tell it. Like drift velocity equation. There are not many equations that you actually need to write. Okay? So that is what it is. And I can tell you that it is enough. Even though there are many equations, I can say this. With a reasonable effort of preparing the information sheet. Reasonable effort means 6 hours. Okay? Of preparing the information sheet, you will get enough equation to use in the final exam. Okay? So you have to be able to select what is the equation that you need. What do you think is don't need?
You can see the previous exam.
You can take a look at previous exam. That doesn't matter.
I mean, you have provided the.
It is on the website. This year exam is this year. It's not the same.
But you have provided the equations in the exam.
Oh yeah, I did. And I think it's closed book too. And it's with 2-page cheat sheet. Okay. All right. Look at this graph. Start from XMO, XM0. You can get delta. So you can get film thickness, depending on your Y sub M. But wait a minute. Okay, we have this graph. Where is this graph coming from? If we learn like undergrad, okay, we use the graph, we done. But as PhD or master, you need to know where is this graph coming from? Can you make it? Which equation? Equation what? 4 point what? 4.101. Okay, I see 4.101. I have capital I. Okay. I have F sub M, so 1.101. 4.101. Are you talking about this equation? You're saying that this equation can be transformed and become that. This graph doesn't have capital I, but this equation has capital I.
But we know delta.
So that capital I had to be replaced with some expression like 300 something, delta something. So you see that capital I? That capital I in the derivation is had to be replaced by something first before you can get that graph. Okay. See this equation have capital I, but that graph doesn't have capital I. You may need to do
66.
uh,
67.
that. Right?
Yeah, 2.6.
You may have to substitute that into the combined term equation so that you can plot that graph. If you substitute something else, your graph will be a little bit different from the graph in the book. Okay?
But did they mention which
They
relationship
did somewhere in the book, yes. Otherwise, you cannot come up with that graph. Okay, let's say we substitute it. Then, from this equation, we have Fe x sub m and y sub m. Okay, in your graph, and delta of course. In your graph, it doesn't have f sub e. Does it have f sub e? Does it have f sub e?
function of S2 delta.
What did you say?
And E is also a function of
X m0.
N2.
Where is x f sub e? Entanglement fraction in that graph.
Here, 104.
But okay, change to 104. Oh, I don't have 104 over there. Okay, 104 is to change from xm square to xm0 square. So you already include that f sub e. Alright? So you actually already included. So by saying xm0 square, you implicitly define f sub e, isn't it? Okay, so when you have this equation, you have xm0 square, and you have other terms. So these two terms has to be like combined together. So you have 1, 2, 3 parameter. You can plot the graph. Use this, right? I think I can plot the graph, but we will see if you can plot the graph if you show me how you plot the graph. That graph. Do you think you can plot the graph? Piece of cake, definitely. Okay, what about this graph? It's a lot. What do we use? We use this line. That's it. Just that line. This is for phi c square as a function of delta L. Let's go back for phi c square. Phi c square as a function of delta L is this equation. So basically you plot this equation for m equal to 0.2. Okay? Or you can substitute the value of delta directly in here and get phi c square and then calculate phi c. Or you can use a graph. Use this will be more accurate. Doesn't depend on your like eyesight or something. Then you already know minus dPdL sub SC, right? You know roll call or something, then you can get frictional pressure loss. Oh, this is not frictional pressure loss, it's total, right? It's total pressure drop per unit length. Include friction term and gravitational term. If you happen to use this kind of line, it's basically you use this equation, which is a function of ym, so it's more difficult to use. Don't just use that. You must get identical answer. Okay? Provided that capital I has the same closure relationship that you used earlier. Alright, use two graphs. Get delta first, then get phi c squared. From phi c squared, you can get total pressure drop. Okay? Total pressure drop comes from this term. Minus dp dr sub c is the same as minus p dp dr sub f. Question? No question. What can you do in the exam? Okay? In the exam, I may not need to give you this graph. Okay? You can just write that formula in there. But this graph, you need it. Okay. This is for vertical flow. No question, right? Let's see how good is the model.